And finally, an art shirt, nothing fancy, one of your old shirts. They can just keep it in their locker and use for when they're painting and, you know, get all messy and you can live without.
A lot of times parents will ask, well, how can I help? What do I need to do? The first thing is that it's not a test, and it's not like, again, Kindergarten Roundup is not about passing a test in order to, it should never be this high pressure type of a thing, and yet we also don't want to just say, well, don't worry about it, you know. So, but parents that want to feel like I'm doing what I need to do, okay, obviously just that nice, you know, bedtime routine that I miss so much as a father is reading, you know, snuggling up with your son or daughter and reading at night, you know, I mean that, or at any time. That's really a great thing to do. And when your kids are 19, 17, and 15, you'll really miss that. So that's what this phrase, "this too shall pass," really applies to, is those kind of really nice moments. They don't really like to snuggle up with me and listen to me read anymore. You know, homework, I mean, how much homework are we really sending out?
Well, we do some fun stuff, and if it doesn't come back, the kids really get sad. Well, I didn't do mine, you know, kind of thing. So it's just a simple, easy thing. There won't be much homework at all in kindergarten, but we do, though, we'll send home some literacy type activities or maybe a book bag to read out of, and those things are all going to just, you know, help your kid be a bit more successful student.
Talk. Well, that seems kind of funny, but really before, you know, children are readers and writers, the way that they're interacting with the language is through speaking and listening. And so the more that you're talking and listening with your child, the more language development they'll have when they're coming in. That's what asking questions. Some other things are some, you know, volunteers. I mean, we have a huge volunteerism here at Westwoods, and great parent involvement here, preschool through 5th grade, and so our teachers are used to having classroom helpers. You know, it's really kind of a staple in kindergarten. So we're going to talk a little bit about what a classroom helper looks like in kindergarten.
Well, in kindergarten, we often have centers set up, literacy centers or activity centers, and so we might ask a parent to come and help, you know, maybe they're doing a craft that day, or come and read with a student, or help on a field trip, cutting things, stapling things, sorting things, all things that need to get done, but we would rather spend our time working directly with your child rather than stapling and gluing. Any other ideas you can think of for helpers?
The reading piece will be big. Reading buddies, having parents come and read with the children.
Some different things to you know, help at home, especially when your child, I mean, this is something that it applies to kids mostly older than kindergarten. But, you know, a child, something to think about as you have, but some of you do have older children, but 1st or 2nd grade, and we never send books home. And we really shouldn't be, so let me know if we are. We shouldn't be sending books home that are new learning for a child. Okay, so a book that comes home in a book bag, or you know, that the teacher's sending home, that the kids might come in and pick something out of the library that might be a little bit challenging for them. But if it's a book that's being sent home by the teacher's confident that this is the child has mastered this reading level and really ought to be able to practice it fluently. And it's important that actually happen. You know, that the kids are able to sit down and read at that point when they're readers, read at that level with their parents and actually go through that exercise. But it should not be new learning for them. That new learning takes place, that's why we have 2 different reading levels. It's called an instructional level, okay, and then the child's reading level, okay. The instructional level is a little bit more challenging than their regular reading level, okay. So that's just something to keep in mind. If you're getting book bags home, we really like parents to interact with those books, have the child read those books to you, and then if the child really struggles with them, and that's good feedback to give the teacher, you know, he really struggled with, it should be really easy. It really should be easy. It's all about early learning. It's all about getting that, that imprinting, having the child's eyes and brain interact with that text over and over and over again, and having it be easy. The challenging part comes when the guided reading group happens, like the picture of Mrs. McCain earlier in the presentation.
It's supposed to be like a really enjoyable experience. So if you're battling with your child or struggling through it, like, you know, put it away, get out a book and just read to them, because really it's about making it so they're comfortable. And as soon as they feel nervous or they feel unsuccessful, they're not going to do it, you know, and they're not going to want to do it. And so I really tell my parents, and we've had book bags for 2 years, and I encourage my kids, you know, whether they're at grade level, above grade level, below grade level, it doesn't matter. This book is for you to go home and spend 10 minutes with your family, you know, and read the book. And there are nights when you can't do it, then read to a stuffed animal. But it needs to be read, and it should be easy, and it shouldn't be something that you don't want to do. You know, on days where I'm absent and my guest teachers are here, my kids are so sad that they do not have book bags. And that sounds silly, but they really are. They're like, Miss Reno, you didn't fill our book bags last night, and I didn't have anything to read. You know, and I'm like, I find it hard to believe you don't have books at your house. But, you know, like, they're so excited about the books and about the time that they share with their families. So I just really want to encourage you that it should be a really enjoyable time. So if they're struggling through it, communicate with the teacher. That's so important.
And a book bag is, if you're wondering, because we keep referring to these, the ones that we have, I don't have one in here, but it's like a nylon plastic type bag with a Velcro top, if you imagine, that the book slides into and you take it out. And so that book will be, like you said, at your child's reading level. In kindergarten, it might be an ABC book. A, alligator. B, bear. Something simple like that. But we're starting to, you know, lay that foundation of nightly reading that they will be reading nightly as they go through their elementary years.
The other thing you can do is assist on field trips. And then the biggest thing is be involved in our PTO. And this is Kelly Stockfish. She's our PTO president.
Yes, you can absolutely. There's many, many ways to be involved. We'd be happy to take volunteers for, we have lots of projects right now. The carnival's coming up. Everybody, if you haven't heard of the carnival, it's coming up February 18th. I'm happy to have volunteers for that. We have different things throughout the year. It's as easy as a teacher needing in your classroom, cutting things, box tops for education, which we got some amazing things for our classrooms, dollar-wise, Campbell soup labels, you know, drying racks that you see in the kids' classrooms, those type things, all things that we didn't have to spend any money on. Popcorn Friday, the kids love Popcorn Friday. Takes a little bit of work, a little bit of time. You don't have to do every Friday. Give me a Friday, and we'll be happy to take your help. So meetings are the third Tuesday of every month, except for December because it's too busy for everybody. Happy to see you. We have them right here in the library at 6:30. So love to see you guys. And welcome all the kindergarten parents. It's great.
I just have to say, the PTO here is amazing. You know, being in another school before this and then coming here, they've spent $8,000 of the money that, you know, our parents raise to benefit every child in this building. The Literacy Library, which has guided reading books, which is how we teach reading here at Westwoods and in Traverse City, they've spent $8,000 to purchase new titles, so there are books for children to read in all interest areas. And that's huge, and that wouldn't happen without the parents that, you know, come to those meetings and help make the decisions and, you know, help raise that money. So, I mean, I'm so thankful. You know, I'm at every meeting asking for money, I'll be really honest. I think that, you know, that lit library can only grow. You know, we service a lot of kids here at Westwoods, and we have created kids that just love to read. And I'm so thankful for a PTO group that is willing to spend their money on something that benefits everyone. So if you're wondering what the money gets spent on other than some of those things, a lot of their money goes directly into the learning of every child in this building.
Yeah, the Lit Library Fast Math, which is a program that the kids use to do math facts, and they love it because they love to get a new screensaver, a new background as they get the next level.
Kindergartners don't use the
Kindergartners
first
don't use it,
graders
but they
do.
go right. I mean, it goes pretty quick. And reading counts is another program that we, you know, it touches every area of the school from the preschool all the way to the 5th grade. if your kids are here long enough. My kids haven't been yet, but I'll have a 5th grader next year. Fifth grade camp's another one that we raise money for to send the kids to a camp at the end of the year. Lots of different things that
Thank you. Some other important dates, okay, to kind of keep in mind. Kindergarten Roundup, April 25th. And actually, I didn't really put these in order, I guess. Classroom placements, class lists. After Kindergarten Roundup, we, collect parent requests. So we can collect those anytime. But really, May 1, we need to have all of your parent requests in order for us. We don't do this for any other grade level except for kindergarten, just because we think that that's the most, that's where the parents, I think, have the most anxiety because it's a big transition year. So we will give you, before school's out, who your child's classroom teacher will be for the following year. Now, that still is tentative because you never know what's going to happen with staffing and everything, but at least gives you, this is the current plan that your child has with this teacher, okay? So it's important that after Kindergarten Roundup, before the 1st of May, if you're going to request one of the 3 fine kindergarten teachers, that you let us know that, and then we'll use the month of May to kind of build those class lists, and we're using the information from the Roundup, et cetera, to make those class lists, okay? And then the kindergarten picnic, we have another gathering September 1st, and that's just to kind of, again, talk about what kindergarten's going to look like. We do have a bus come, so the kids get to ride the bus. They get a big kick out of that. Edie serves some hot dogs, and we all just kind of gather out here and cross our fingers. The weather's always been great. We just kind of bring a lawn chair or sit on a blanket out on the lawn, and we kind of talk about what kindergarten will look like kind of all over again. But usually there are more questions to answer at that point, too.
You'll also have a postcard reminder for that, too.
Okay, well, any questions?